Hi everyone, it's Shannon. Before we get started, I do want to take a second to thank the original Super Glue for sponsoring today's video. I'm sure most of us are trying to make the best of staying home as much as possible this summer, so I do have some fun ideas that you can do in your own backyard today. So let's go ahead and jump right in. First up is a 3-in-1 giant backyard game. I started by going to Home Depot and purchasing 2 sheets of 2-foot by 4-foot MDF. They were only $6.99 per sheet. And I also cut down 4 4-foot lengths of 1 1/8 inch lattice. We're going to start by working on the MDF sheets first. I have just some basic white latex paint that I gave the front and back sides of the pieces 2 coats of. I wanted to make sure that this was double-sided, so I did give the whole thing, including the sides, 2 coats each. It was a nice warm day and the sun was beating down, so this didn't take too long because it allowed the paint to dry pretty quickly. This first side is going to be a giant 4-foot by 4-foot tic-tac-toe board. So I purchased 5 X's and 5 O's from Hobby Lobby. And also they are going to get a red and blue finish. But of course, you are more than welcome to paint yours whatever colors you like, whatever colors are your favorite. Or if you have a certain color scheme for your backyard or your patio, you could even go with colors to match your decor. Now those lattice stripes are going to be the cross pieces for our tic-tac-toe board. The first 2 4-foot long sections, you just basically want to spray paint whatever color you want. Obviously you see here that I am spray painting mine in a black color just so it contrasts against the white. Now we are going to have to cut down the other 2 4-foot long sections of lattice. You will need 4 at 15 1/2 inches, and you will need 4 cut down to 7 7/8 inches. I am using a handsaw and miter box to cut down my lattice pieces. It's really super easy and simple to use. I will link the one that I use in the description box. You can find them on Amazon for under $15. Here are the first 4 pieces I cut from the first 4-foot long lattice piece. You just want to repeat that on your second one so that you end up with 4 at 15 1/2 inches long and 4 at 7 7/8 inches long. Then I just took these outside and gave them 2 coats of black spray paint as well. Inside, I had to do some measuring to prep. I pushed my MDF pieces together to create that 4-foot square, and I'm basically marking my boards into thirds. So you are going to mark each board at 16 inches from each side. So basically you have 3 equal-sized squares. So I'm just marking at 16 inches on the edges so I can see where those spots are when I go to add my lattice pieces. So basically I was just marking where our lattice pieces are going to go so that they would equally divide our tic-tac-toe board. I am going to be using my original super glue mounting tape for this. I absolutely love this mounting tape. It is a super strong double-sided mesh adhesive that is also clear. So these are really nice. They are pre-cut strips, but they also come on a larger roll. So I used these to affix our shutters onto the side of my she shed, and they have held super strong. As you can see, they can hold up to 300 pounds per roll. I'm using the smaller strips for this because we don't need a whole lot. The lattice pieces are really lightweight, but this is a permanent adhesive, so keep that in mind. Once you put that tape on the back, you really are not going to be able to remove it. So make sure you line up your lattice pieces at those 16-inch marks before pressing down, because you're not going to be able to remove these and adjust them at all once you have them securely placed. For the smaller pieces, I did line these all up before I attached all of them, just so I made sure I had straight lines. You are going to make sure that your pieces are on center with those 16-inch marks. And the really cool thing about the original super glue mounting tape strips is you can even cut them down to size. So we don't need to use a whole strip on these smaller pieces. So I cut one in half and I put one at each end of my lattice. You just remove that orange paper backing, which will reveal the clear mesh double-sided adhesive underneath before placing your lattice piece where it needs to go, and then you press down firmly and it is not going to move or go anywhere. I'll make sure to put a link to this mounting tape down in the description box, so make sure to check that out after this tutorial. And then I just continued this process of adding the mounting tape to the back of each one of the smaller pieces, creating my tic-tac-toe board. It really does look super cool whenever it is all finished. Now I didn't want the backs to go to waste, so I did flip them over and created 2 more games out of the back 2x4 pieces. Now this first side I ended up making into a small miniature bowling alley. I just added some black vinyl to the board to give it the little alley lanes and also the bowling pin dots. I found these designs online and traced them in my Silhouette Cameo program and sized them down to fit the board, and then used black vinyl to apply the designs. And this other back piece is getting some colorful dots of vinyl that I just kind of had laying around. They were scrap pieces, and I just made different sized dots and added numbers to the middle and made a row of them up the center and created a fun beanbag toss game. All of these games turned out super fun. We all had a great time playing them in the backyard together. And also the great thing about piecing these into 2 halves is that it makes it really easy for storing them too. Instead of a big 4 foot by 4 foot giant game, they can be broke down into 2 pieces and easily stored away in a shed or a garage or someplace where it's convenient for you. My son absolutely loves tic-tac-toe. We play this on paper all the time, so I knew this big board would be so much fun. I can't count how many times we've played this game already. Bonfires are another really fun family activity that you can do in your backyard. And so I created a really simple and quick s'mores bar, and I thought a sign would be kind of a fun way to just make it more special. So I have these wooden letters from Hobby Lobby that I'm going to be attaching with the original super glue Super Unix, which when you're at Hobby Lobby picking up your sign and your wood letters, you can also grab your Super Unix because that is the best place to find it. The one thing I absolutely love about Super Unix is that it has absolutely no smell, so you don't have to worry about that. It also doesn't cling to your fingers like a traditional super glue would, and it is more of a gel based, so it actually grabs on and adheres in less than 10 seconds. So you can create this wood sign so super quickly. So basically all I had to do was add a few dots of my Super Unix onto the back of the wood letters, kind of hold them into place for a couple seconds, and they were good to go. And then I didn't find any apostrophes at Hobby Lobby, so I just took a brown marker to create that little apostrophe in my Smores Bar sign. Thanks to the original super glue, Super Unix, I was able to create this wood sign in just a few minutes. These are some wooden labels that I picked up from Hobby Lobby as well, and I wanted to create some cute containers for all of the s'mores ingredients. So I took my black spray paint that I used earlier and gave these a couple coats and let them dry. The black spray paint gave them that chalkboard type look, and I also picked up these containers from Hobby Lobby too. They are 40 ounces and only $5.99 each. I'm going to be using my original super glue mounting tape for these as well. The cool thing about the mounting tape is that it works on all materials, so it's going to work to bond our wood right onto our glass containers. Before I add my labels to the front of the glass containers, I am taking a white chalk marker and adding the words to each one. So I have a chocolate one, I'll have a marshmallow one, and also a graham cracker one. And now to add the labels to the glass containers, I'm going to be adding it just the same way I did with the lattice to the tic-tac-toe boards. You just peel off one of the strips, apply it to the back of a label. Make sure you press down firmly before you remove that orange plastic covering. Once you take off that covering, it will reveal that clear mesh that will then adhere your label to the front of your container. These are great containers because they have a gasket on it, which means that once you put your chocolate and your ingredients into the containers, it will create that airtight seal. So what I love most is that you can even take all of your leftovers that you maybe didn't use at your bonfire and store them in your cabinet for the next time you have a s'mores get-together or a family barbecue. Again, I'll make sure to put a link down in the description box to this original super glue Super Unix and mounting tape for more information on both, as well as where you can purchase them. So we actually took all of this over to my parents' house. They have a gorgeous backyard and patio, so this is even transportable. And you can even add to this s'mores bar type concept, add your favorite ingredients or toppings, create this for a wedding or a birthday, and it was so super simple. I have some barbecue skewers that are just from Dollar Tree in buckets next to the sign, and that's what we used for our s'mores making. I hope you all find fun ways to enjoy your backyards or your family get-togethers this summer. We love s'mores and we love backyard games. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you'll subscribe and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.